I can't be the only one who's not excited about a new Marvel movie, right? I mean, I can't believe my 16-year-old boy body cried tears of joy in the theater when Avengers Endgame released all that fan service. You know, leading up to that, I think I watched upwards of like 40 hours worth of content, and now there's movies that no one really wants to see, right? Like, what has come out so far have been like Eternals, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi. I mean, Spider-Man might be an exception, but I'll get to that in a sec. Marvel just released their new lineup for Phase 5, and I couldn't possibly be less excited. I mean, there's so many new Avengers movies, they're introducing so many characters no one cares about, and they're milking Tom Holland dry with all of the Spider-Man shit. And I know High Top Films has been saying it for years, but the Marvel formula is really, really getting old. All the CGI, the jokes every 5 minutes, and then the cameos really make for an unpleasant theater experience. So that got me thinking, there's so much new content out that it's impossible to keep up with everything, and I know that's not a new revelation, right? But hear me out. Even with all that content out these days, I really don't get that excited anymore. And I feel like I see this everywhere I go, whether it be university, or back home, or online. I feel like no one really gets excited about anything anymore. Really, I feel like outside of a niche group, not too many people get excited about things anymore. Like, and I'm not just talking about movies, there's so many things, right? There's like music, there's art, there's TV shows, there's YouTube videos, there's memes. Hell, there's so many things that we can consume, and like, it's blowing my mind how not that many people are getting excited for things anymore, right? Okay, like, think about it. The average mainstream pop culture consumer has already watched so many things, like, just off the top of my head.
Euphoria, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Money Heist, Queen's Gambit, I don't know, fucking Daredevil, Jessica Jones, right? And then moving off into like the animated stuff, there's like Rick and Morty, SpongeBob, Avatar: The Last Airbender, regular show, anime. We've got One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, right? Attack on Titan. There's so much, and then we go further into like the Pixar stuff. We've got like Frozen, we've got Moana, we've got Inside Out, we've got Toy Story 1 to 4, right? We've got so many things, right? There's also memes, right? There's like Whiplash, there's La La Land, there's fucking Full Metal Jacket, there's American Psycho, there's Nightcrawler. Like, so many of these movies like have like a spot in your brain, and like,
at least for me, they're just occupying empty space. Don't take this out of context. Like, I like a lot of these shows, but I just feel like that a lot of it is just like in my brain for the sake of being in my brain because other people or like Netflix have recommended it to me. And there's also like all the celebrity drama that you have to keep up with all of these actors, like who's doing what. Like, Christian Bale hasn't seen Batman. Like, what the fuck? It's so much. And get this, with all of that, I still haven't even touched video games or music, right? Okay, if we're gonna talk about music, let's talk about Kendrick's new album, right? Okay, and then if we want to talk about music, let's talk about all of the drama that Kanye is involved with, whether it be with Coachella, or Rolling Loud, or Kid Cudi, or Taylor Swift for the past 5-6 years. Seriously, it's unending. There's also controversy with record labels such as Top Dog Entertainment. They're kind of dying out right now, and they're mistreating SZA, at least it seems like it, right? And Mac Miller's family is doing a really good job dropping his new stuff. There's also Griselda. You know, they've really gotten some more mainstream appeal, but they're still not quite hitting that like level of success that all of them, you know, should get, right? There's also like Beyonce. She dropped a new album a while ago, and it might just be my own feed, but I really don't see anyone caring. I even made a poll on YouTube asking everyone if they've watched or listened to the new Beyonce album, and I just got a list of replies saying, who's that, who's that, who's that? Like, I understand it's a joke, right? But when like 96% of the people voting, I know like my audience is probably mostly male, but I got like 800, 900, maybe upwards of 1,000 votes at the time that like I pull it up, right? But like, you know, 96% of people haven't listened to Beyonce's album. Like, that's a very, I know it's voluntary and it's on YouTube, but like, it's a pretty decent sample size, and I feel like really, again, outside of that like niche group of people, not that many people care. Beyonce dropped an album after 6 years of waiting, and like, it's not that big a deal. You know, like that's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of crazy to me. Like, I've listened to it and there's a couple good songs, but you know, it's just like, I haven't been super hyped for it. So there's nothing that I can really attach onto, right? And there's also Frank Ocean and Rihanna, who are never dropping music. They're staying relevant, right? Like, Rihanna's a fucking billionaire, but like, they're staying relevant doing everything except making music. Even A$AP Rocky, who has taken like a 4 or 5 year wait on his like next album, like seriously, even that dude is making fucking new music. And therefore, I feel like, you know, that should rub off a little bit on Rihanna, but it's not. I feel like this new baby, Sean C said it, it's just like an excuse maybe to never just drop new music, and I'm really waiting. Like, I know my sister really loves Rihanna too, and like, she's a very talented artist, and I know she doesn't need to, but like, seriously, like, could you guys drop something? It's been 6 years since your last full-length projects, guys, come on. And then there's video games. You know, Nintendo has been strong like the last 5-6 years, right? Releasing Smash Bros, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey, like, all in just the span of like the first couple years of the Nintendo Switch being announced. That was really great. They're really nice games. You know, I still play them. And then there's, you know, Halo Infinite dropped, I guess, was that last year? I don't really remember. I know a lot of people like playing that too. But then there's also like, you know, Call of Duty games. There's also like Mass Effect games. There's also like NBA 2K and FIFA and Madden, right? Oh my god, there's so many. And then there's like games that always like, they're like indie games or maybe like, you know, not as big, you know, and they always like recirculate like Among Us and Fall Guys. And then there's also stuff that is just like constantly there that I feel like not that many people care about anymore, but it's still so popular somehow. Again, maybe because it's just like, you know, this mindless entertainment. I'm talking about Fortnite. Like, I'm very confused as to what it is. I guess it's remained relevant with all of the collaborations it's had. And there's also Elden Ring. Right now, it's August, and Elden Ring came out, I believe, in January, after, like, so many delays and stuff, and it was, like, really, really hyped up, right? So, hype was up here, everybody loved it the first couple months, right? But, like, most things, I feel like the average new project, like, lifespan just plummets. It's exponentially, it just decays. And I'm not saying that projects like this, like Elden Ring, aren't a work of art. I'm just saying that, you know, the lifespan has really dwindled a lot in a lot of these projects. And I know it's probably due to, you know, the psychology of the average consumer these days, because there's so much content around, you know, it's really easy to get bored, doom scroll, move on, or keep something in the background because we just can't understand and can't hold on to, like, the monotony of everyday life. I mean, seriously, when was the last time this summer you've gone out and enjoyed the summer? Like, be honest, you probably haven't, right? Because it's just easier to sit in your bed all day, lying there curled up, going on TikTok or watching YouTube or movies or TV or whatever it is, on like your little phone, right? Even when you have like a TV in your room or like in your house, like why? Or maybe giving you the benefit of the doubt, you've been in summer school, right? You want to catch up on credits, maybe because you want to get ahead, or maybe you switched majors and now, you know, you're a little behind and you want to catch up, right? Maybe if you're trying to get ahead, you want to graduate early. You want to graduate in 3 years instead of 4 because that extra year means more money for tuition, right? The sooner you're out of here, right, you know, the sooner you move on to grad school or into your career. Or maybe you're a full-time employee, right? And like every single day you get up and you want to make every single day fulfilling. So, after 8 hours or more of work, what do you decide to do after work? Well, you could go to the gym, you could go on a date, you could have fun and, you know, go out for guys' night. You only have a finite amount of options, and maybe it's just easier to go back to your high school days when breaks just meant curling up in your bed, being on your phone. Either way, I feel like you haven't been enjoying, you know, the nature of life passing you by because you've grown up. You know, it's no surprise that everybody gets older, right? Like, millennials now, they are about 30. Right? And it just means less time for fun and games and more time for responsibilities. Think about it. If you only have about 2 days out of the week to spend on your own, would you really want to spend it watching a Marvel movie with your friends? Or maybe even alone? I mean, I can see it, right? Maybe, you know, when the first Avengers movie came out 10 years ago, you were in high school and you loved it. But now, maybe, you know, you're just trying to hold on to that feeling and, you know, deep down you know that flair just isn't there. That little hint of nostalgia you try to find in these movies really just isn't there. I mean, remember when I talked about Spider-Man at the beginning of all of this? Well, that was probably their last chance. You know, those who were kids growing up watching, you know, Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, you know, they were excited to see them, you know, appear in No Way Home, and I feel like that was these big companies' last chance.
Collective love like no other, but that experience will always have been filmed in boring medium shots, edited for applause, and written, staged in Ned's grandma's house.
So what's next? Is life in the developed world just this mixture of advertisements, name brands, and like entertainment you can't keep up with? Again, right, nothing really new. How I've been feeling is that I just want to watch mindless entertainment, you know, for hours upon hours, so that on the off chance when I get to hang out with my friends, we have something to talk about to fill in that awkward void, right? So, yeah, I just gotta keep up appearances with my friends and watch this cruddy shit, or else maybe I'll be fucking weird not having watched Euphoria or Breaking Bad, for instance, when I really don't care about these things. It doesn't have to be that way. Here's the point. These days, I feel like so many people, myself included, are getting caught up in what a consumer-heavy society implicitly dictates as the norm, and they're getting caught up in what pleases other people or what they think pleases other people, but are they really pleasing themselves? Seriously, take a moment to think about what you actually like. What have you listened to? What have you seen? What have you played that has made you feel so good, right? Maybe just take a step back, deconstruct it a little bit. What about those works of art stood out to you? I'm not saying that you should go and reject modernity or whatever. I'm just saying that maybe you can occupy your impatient mind with something a little more meaningful to you. Hey, and if that's going out and doing something that I've kind of shit on in this video, I'm sorry, right? Be your authentic self. I really see no problem with it.
The truth is, you bought them because you like them. They have value to you. That's what matters.
Honestly, I feel like I've just been projecting my emotions onto the world as I keep growing up and keep becoming unsatisfied. And I'm not adverse to change or saying that new things just have to be worse. I just feel like that it's harder to find good projects when everything corporate is shoved down your throat and lifespans are just shorter, right? In the past couple of years, there have been so many things in every single medium that have just been beautiful, but it's just harder to find. You know, I'm saying all of this, and personally, I'm not even like one of the biggest consumers of media, but with my limited pool of knowledge and my niche interests, I'd like to share what I've actually been enjoying the past couple of years. As for a movie, starting off with The Sound of Metal, it is about a drummer in a band who starts losing his hearing, and it is actually a very touching story. It's pretty brutal and realistic as well, and I feel like, you know, the stakes are there, and there's a really, really good, like, lesson to be learned, but it's not cheesy or shoehorned in there. It's just really fantastic. And as for a TV show, I'm thinking about Better Call Saul. It is probably my favorite TV show of all time. I think it's better than Breaking Bad because I think the writers of Breaking Bad have just improved. They've taken like a next step, right? They've just had more time to master their craft, mixed in with some of like the most beautiful directing from like I'm speechless. It's just really good. Please watch it. It's an underrated prequel, and I really think you'll love it, especially it being in the Breaking Bad universe as well. And then for a video game, I think, you know, I honestly don't play that many video games, but in the past couple of years, the only one that I've really, really loved has been Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. You know, it's by From Software. They make all those really hard, crazy games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls. But I just think that, like, this game in particular is really nice because it just feels like you're actually fighting. There's like a unique combat system, and it's not just like dodging and hitting. I don't have to get into it, but it's just one of my favorites because of the unique combat style and because of the unique art. It's just fantastic. Finally, I think for an album, I'd like to choose Dawn FM. And I know it's not up here on my wall. I actually own it. I just enjoy these a little bit more right now, and I like how it's color-coded. But Dawn FM, you know, it might be a surprising pick because, you know, it's like newer, the lifespan isn't as, you know, as long, and it actually didn't succeed that much. But in my opinion, it's my favorite weekend album. It's really up there with House of Balloons and After Hours. He just really puts his heart and soul into it, and I just feel like him at his, you know, creative best, right? He's not trying to please anyone. He's just doing something that he loves. And I can't argue with it, and it sounds freaking amazing. There's not a single skip on the album. It's really good, and it's really nice. But at the end of it all, you don't even have to listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet telling you how I like to organize the entertainment in my life. It's just that, for me, these past couple of months, I've really taken a step back, and I've realized that my old habits of just kind of chugging entertainment just to kind of like fill the silence and this void in my life really made me uncomfortable. Now I'm trying to arrange my life around me. These are the things that I like. These are the things that have a special place in my heart. And I'm sure I'll find more. It doesn't have to be so rigid. That's the whole point. I want change for myself. And what better way to do that than to keep up with divertisement I love and to keep finding things that I love.